Welcome back. I'm just gonna run and do a quick video of my garden and where I'm at with it right now. We're here in the middle of April, Central Florida, and my grapevine is doing okay. I have been coming out here and washing the aphids off. It's been getting a lot of aphids, so I have been washing and spraying it off with aphids. My herbs, German thyme, oregano, Greek, I trimmed these back already because they was starting to seed, so I definitely went ahead and trimmed those back. My grapes are doing pretty good. I know I need to cover them, but right now they're kind of hiding up underneath the leaves, so I don't think the birds know they're there yet. My stem that I was worried about not button is finally button up. So here's bed one. All of my beds I went through and topped them with organic raised bed fertilizer. Just filled them up. As you could tell, I topped them with leaves, and then after the leaves I just laid the soil down on them. But my tomatoes are looking good. My kohlrabies are looking good. I'm sorry, those not crop, those are baby cabbages there. They're looking good. My carrots are in the front row. My nasturtium. I see my ginger coming up just a little, but this whole back row is ginger. And it's just taking its time coming up. But ginger's back there. I have my dill here. Now, I did replant cucumbers, as you could tell. I have a cucumber here, but she's not doing good. So I did plant more yesterday. So let's hope they come up so they can trellis this. They can climb this trellis. And my rosemary. Two is my kohlrabies. And I have 2 banana peppers. And you can see back there, they're coming up. I have plenty of buds on these, which I've been getting a lot of them. So 2 plants seem to just do my household fine, being that my husband and my daughter loves banana peppers. My scallops, I haven't harvested any of these yet. I probably should, but they're doing good. My Thai basil. I need to, while I got y'all here, I'm gonna just pluck this. It's a flower, and I'm not ready for her to go to seed. And I have a Pasco tomato. She's flowering. I'm gonna need to trellis her real soon. Sweet pepper, starting to flower. This one here, she's big. She got a little buds on her. I wanted to cut the tops off her, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave it. My tomato here, I planted this tomato from seed, and as you could tell, it's part green and like it's part dying, but it has a fruit, and I know that fruit is not going to survive that. I have a pepper here. These are all hot peppers over here. And they're doing pretty good for me. Again, I top soiled this bed. Here are my strawberries flowering. So far it's only the ones on the top that's giving me fruit. As you can tell, that one died. The ones on the side are not. That one died. This one the only one holding up, but it's not giving me fruit yet. And that one died. And I do have a little fruit here. So only the top for some reason is giving me fruit. The ones on the side is not doing too well for me. This is bed 3. And right now the purple kale is hanging on. We harvested and gave it to the rabbit. As you can tell, my okra plants, these seeds I harvest from my last year's harvest. So I'm very proud to see that they're coming along just fine. And then in between these seeds, 2 days ago, I planted more okra seeds, like right in between them and in that far back corner. So those should be coming up very soon. This is a dinosaur kale, and she's not doing too good. I really want to just cut off and start over. One, I don't like dinosaur kale, so I would never grow the dinosaur kale again. I don't like the taste, but she's here. There is some mixed lettuce that's still doing good, because right now this is direct sun and that lettuce is still doing good. And if we're not eating it, we're feeding it to the rabbit. Right here is my sweet basil. I'm actually gonna go get another one too, because we have basil plants for like $2.98 at my big box store, and I'm gonna go get another one. But my basil is doing good. So this bed right here, bed 3, I really only wanted herbs and okra to take over, because this is the center of my bed and it gets direct sun, and okra thrives on heat. So I might try and grow some beans and see where the beans trellis the okra plant, but for now it will definitely be just okra and herbs in this bed. And here's my peach tree I just got yesterday. I could tell my kids already been on it, but okay. I don't have pest issues in my garden yet. Knock on wood. Thank you, Lord. Not bragging. I'm not complaining. But I haven't had them yet. So I did buy some netting to cover up my fruit, but we'll see. Right now, I watered her. I might need to water her again, because I watered her very heavy yesterday. But I watered her, and I'm leaving her like that. I'm trying to get rid of pots. So I took some of this mint off and repotted it in another pot and left it there. And I haven't watered, fertilized, or nothing, and this mint won't die. I'm not liking this. Bed 4, again, I topped it with organic fertilizer. I got some marigolds going on, some more tomatoes that I planted from seed. Those I planted from seed. My nasturtium over there in the corner. I keep planting pole beans here, and they keep dying. So I'm going to find something else at this point. I done tried 3 times, and they're not making it over here. So I'm going to put them somewhere else. These plants right here are my pepper plants, sweet pepper plants. Those are garlics. I also have garlic coming all the way to the front. More tomatoes. This is a broccoli I personally let go to seed. I did that for a reason, because I want to harvest the broccoli seed. So I'm leaving that alone. There's another tomato plant. Here's some beans forming here, and then I started some more, and just yesterday I planted like 2 right there. Let's hope they come up. And there's a tomato plant, and she's getting ready to flower. This is one of my potato bags. I think this is the golden white potatoes, and this is the bag I told you I planted all my mint. So I have chocolate mint, sweet mint, spearmint, and I have another mint. I don't know the name of it, but this is where I put them at. And that other pot I just showed you, it just won't die. I'm not doing nothing to it, and that mint would not die. So I'm just going to leave it there. But these are looking good and healthy. And I just had an awesome harvest of red potatoes in this bag. So I hope I can get another great harvest. This bed right here is the 5th bed. And this still has all my brassicas, as you can see. My curly kale is looking good over there in the far corner. My cabbages, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get cabbages. I probably harvest like 3 cabbages this season. But, I mean, I really believe they're going to go to flower on me. My pineapple sage is doing good. My garden sage is doing good. My curly kale is still hanging in there, even though the heat is coming. You can see my purple cabbages. So nothing is bolting yet, but it is getting pretty hot here, and I just know they're not going to survive. My mustard greens here. And again, I have garlic in this bed. All of these are garlic. Sorry if I miscalculated calculated or jumped or not, but I think this is bed 6. Bed 6 are my onions. I have the Texas onion, Texas sweet, the purple, and my asparagus in the back. The Texas onions is just showing out. Like, I'm so proud of them. Now my purple ones, I mean, they're doing okay, but I had to stretch around it and drop fertilizer on it just to loosen up the dirt from around it. I was thinking that the dirt was maybe too caked up on it and it wouldn't allow the bulbs to get big. So I had to stretch around it and drop some fertilizer and watered it. So let's hope that helps me. Here's my asparagus. When they first came up, I wanted to harvest them right away, you guys. But this was my first time growing them, so I know it's not time. So of course the asparagus went to seed. Here's the seeds. And I'm gonna leave them. I'm not gonna clip them. They're not in my way. That's the reason why I planted them here. So they're not in my way at all. So I'm just gonna leave them alone. But I do come along and try to pull some of these weeds out of this bed. Bed 7. If you check out my previous video, actually 2 videos ago, it was on corn. I planted corn, squash, and beans from seed here, the 3 sisters. Not at the same time, but everything went good until I got worms and grasshoppers on my corn, and it killed the corn. So I pulled the corn, replanted corn. The squash didn't do good, so I pulled those, but I also planted new seeds for the squash because squash germinates very fast, so I wouldn't dare buy a starter plant for squash. But the beans are still doing good. Besides, they don't have nothing to trellis on, so they're trellising on the squash trellis. And I have some corn slowly coming up. And my zucchini is looking pretty good. I have some zucchini coming in. I think I probably harvest maybe 2 zucchinis off this plant, but most of them keep drying out on me. So I fertilized it and deep watered it, and I'm gonna see what's gonna happen from there. But it's not dead. And there go my beans climbing up something. Pole beans need something to climb up on, and since the corn didn't act right, they're climbing up on a trellis. Bed 8. Bed 8 is, I have carrots, colored carrots on this end. They haven't germinated yet. And I have short, sweet carrots here, which they haven't germinated yet. And I put sunflower seeds, and they coming up. As you can see, I'm very excited. I put sunflower seeds straight in the middle here. And what we have here is cherry tomatoes. And they're coming. So we have cherry tomatoes here. Let's see which. So we got the chocolate cherry tomatoes here. And I have 3 plants of those. I definitely need to water those. It's a little dry. Like really dry. Stick your finger, like dry. Definitely need to water those. And then over here, I had the baby cucumbers that I got from starter plants, and they died, as you could tell, but I went behind it and planted mini cucumbers from seed. These are the ones I bought that died. And I went and just got the seed, the mini cucumber seeds, and planted them. So let's hope those come up. But this bed supposed to be just carrots, sunflowers, tomatoes, and cucumbers. And I got the trellis. What is this, bed 8? Bed 9. So this is in the back of my shed. And it gets a little sun, not a whole lot of sun, but enough sun. So I made this my sweet potato and my potato bed. One, it can trail, the potatoes can trail all back here and it won't get in my way. And 2, you can companion plant sweet potatoes and potatoes together. So I call myself dividing it, but the sweet potatoes, as you could tell, are in the front. And I really need to come out here and pull these weeds. They're getting bad. That area right there was potatoes, and we already harvested them and ate them. The middle is supposed to be potatoes. And I'm going to step right over here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clip these. These are the flowers of the potato. And clipping it, you just letting the... I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not left-handed. Clipping them, you just letting the plant know that you want it to spend more of its energy on the bulb at the bottom, being that potatoes grow from the bottom. Clipping them and just letting them know that, hey, I want you to develop at the bottom and not at the top. The flowers are not eatable. They're actually poisonous for you. So we're going to clip them, and I'm going to leave them right there. I mean, no one comes back here. But there's a potato trying to come here. Some potatoes there. And then far back, you have the sweet potatoes up there. This bed right here is strictly sweet potatoes and potatoes. Once my potatoes in the grow bags get done with those, I will no longer use them for potatoes. I will be planting them in this bed right here. And today, before it gets dark, I'm going to top this bed with soil. This is the only one I didn't top with soil. I have the soil, and it is too heavy for me, so I need my husband to help me lift it over there and spread it out. But that's my last bag that I'm going to go ahead and put in the potato and sweet potato bed. This is my pink grapefruit. Last year, she got ate up real bad with aphids. I sprayed her, nurtured her, took care of her, kept wiping them off. You know, I even put a little fence around her, fertilized her, protect her, and she's finally looking green and luscious, and she's finally growing and looking good. So I may get fruit this season, I may not. So we will definitely have to see what she's going to do for me, but she has definitely came a long way, and I already see the new footage coming in, so I am grateful for that. Now this brings me back to memories. So this is what my grapefruit tree used to look like, and this is my orange tree. So I had my orange tree in the front of my backyard, and my kids play basketball and play, and they always was hitting it. I did get fruit off of it, but I got maybe like 1 or 2 oranges because the flowers and stuff kept falling down. So I decided to move her to the back of my garden, and it looks like she has been getting tackled with aphids as well, spider mites, as you can tell. And I come through here and I call myself constantly trimming her, spraying Nemic oil, doing the same thing I did with my grapefruit vine. You see, because she is just getting tackled by insects. So I'm just going to come through here real quick and try to trim her up, because I mean, they are clearly killing my baby. I mean, as soon as my camera act right for y'all. But I have them all on the leaves. There you go. I'm going to say, what is the problem? So here is my dragon fruit. It is the pink one. It's not the yellow one. If I'm not mistaken, this is the yellow one. It's not the pink one. This is the yellow dragon fruit. When I purchased her from the store, it just had those 2 stems in it right here, and I planted her, and something's eating her. I got to figure out what that is, but she took off. She's growing so far. She's looking good. I had her last season and I didn't get fruit, so I'm not sure if I will get fruit this season. I'm really hoping for it, but she's good. I may need to drop some fertilizer around the edges of the root part of her, but I just been leaving her and letting her do her thing. These are the reasons I don't have corn. Green grasshoppers. I'm sorry, black grasshoppers. So here's my cherry tree. I got her last season. She gave us a bunch of cherries, y'all. Like, she did beautiful for me. But where I had her at, she was growing way faster than I thought she would grow. And she was getting too big for the area. And I decided to move her. Now, I did move her during her dormancy time. But when I moved her, she died. All the leaves, everything died. She just fell off. So I came over and I ripped all the leaves apart and I trimmed her. This is the furthest I trimmed her, but I trimmed her pretty good. I was scared to go too crazy with the trimming, but I trimmed her pretty good and I left her, and it's going on 2 months and she's not doing anything for me. But when I go to check her stems, she's still green, which is a sign she's still alive. She's still green. She's not dead. She's not snapping off. But I just know I'm not going to get anything this season with her. I might have to give her a minute to get back focused. But I'm going to be patient with her because it is my fault that I did move her. I shocked her. Yes, I did. My banana tree. Now, someone at my job gave me this banana tree. She took a baby off of her banana tree, you guys, and it was just one plant. It was this one plant right here. And it was about that size right there when I put it in the ground. Now it has 1, 2, 3 banana plants attached to it. I only wanted one. Now, banana plants, once they flower and fruit, they don't fruit again. So you cut that one off and then the babies come right behind it and give you more fruit. And I thought that what was going to happen. I said, I'm going to get one plant, and once it fruit, the baby will come behind it. I'll cut the mother plant off and I'll keep going. Not the case. I've got 3 of them growing. They're looking good. They done got tall and healthy. I'm watering them. I stopped fertilizing them. I don't think I'm gonna get fruit this season either. I might get it next season. I know our cold front we had set them back hard. Like, all of my branches was crispy during the winter months here in Central Florida. So she definitely bounced back faster than I thought, but I can clearly tell I would not be getting any fruit from her this season. So one more season, y'all. We're hoping for one more season for us to get some bananas. One of my pineapples. Now, I have heard a bunch of different stories with pineapple. This is my first time growing it. I bought a pineapple from the store. I rooted the top in water for about 2 weeks. Put her in the ground. This is second week for me with her. Most people say it didn't take them that long, but Google says up to 3 years before you see fruit. I'm hoping that's so. She was looking a little yellowish, so I stretched the root ball of her and gave her some liquid fertilizer, and then turned around and put some pebblets on there. The pebblets just takes a little while to break down in the soil, and I can see her color trying to get a little dark, but I'm gonna be very upset if I don't get no pineapple this season. Here is my other pineapple. I don't think I will be growing pineapples on a regular. I just want to see if I can grow pineapples. Pineapples take extremely too long for me to produce fruit, and as you can tell, the leaves get very long and awkward, and I'm having trouble finding space to even plant them. But here's the other one here. I need to come and pull the weeds around her, but she is doing good, and I just planted her about 3 weeks ago. If anybody got any pointers for this passion fruit, help me out. I purchased this passion fruit 3 months ago from one of my big box stores, and it was full of leaves. They were beautiful, y'all. They was luscious. As you could tell, I started trailing them up the trellis. They were looking so good. Then I started seeing these babies on them, and at first I was brushing them off, and then I was like, no, these are caterpillars. So I started picking them off, putting them in my butterfly bed for my daughter, and they won't stop coming. I have sprayed Nemic oil. I come out here every morning before work, and I pluck them off, and I smush them. At this point, I just smush them, and I can't look at my baby. So I'm really hoping she bounced back. So if you ever heard the word volunteer, volunteer means you plant something a season, and next season you didn't even have to plant the seed. You didn't have to plant a starter plant. It just magically pops right back up in your garden. And this is my volunteer. This is a pineapple cherry tomato is what the label said. And as you can tell, they grow up underneath. So can I get a better view? They grow up underneath the leaves. And they're okay, I guess. I mean, to me, they weren't as sweet as I wanted them. That's why I said I would not be growing them again. But they pop right back up. And I have 2 in this little 5-gallon grow bag here. And this is a bag I just left. I didn't put nothing in it. I just left it. And when I went to go use it, I realized something was growing in it. I couldn't tell what it was at the time, so I just left it. And I can clearly tell that I even got some turmeric growing in here as well. Guys. But I can't remember what size pot this is. But I bought some Adalias. It was 3 bulbs in a box. And I went ahead and planted them in here. One of them broke and it looked like she's trying to come back for me. But I planted them in here. And one's just taking off beautiful. She's showing out for me, y'all. Big time. Check her out. She's ready to pop out another one. And another one. I mean, she has just been so good to me. So beautiful. Look at her. She have them going all, I mean, just this one plant is doing great for me. The other 2 are slow growing. Like I said, I don't even see a head on them, but I'm gonna leave them. I don't know if this pot is not big enough for all of them, or she just taking from all of them. I might have to fertilize a little, but I've been happy with just her alone. So this is my first time growing Adalias, and it will not be my last time. If you grow Adalias, which ones you grow, what colors you like, and what zone you in, and what season do you grow your Adalias. Here in Central Florida, they say they are perennials, but again, I'll keep you on the update of that one. But right now, here, springtime, what it says, mid-April, and mines are just showing out in full sun, showing out. So here's bed 10. I know it doesn't look like nothing. That's because I topped it with topsoil, organic topsoil. My collard greens was here, and I actually had this whole section of collard greens, but some of them automatically start looking like this. And I didn't want to go through it, the fight, the hassle, whatever it was causing it. So I pulled them. Now I have 2 good plants. I mean, check out my leaves. Like, I have 2 good plants, and they're thriving and they're looking good, and they don't have a lot of pest issues at all on them. Oh, I see something here though, a worm. But I don't have a lot of pest issues with these, but these over here I do. So I don't know if they're focused on this and they're not messing with those, but I decided to leave these plants here, because if you guys gonna eat that up, then maybe y'all will leave me 2 good ones and we both can be happy. So I left these here. Every now and then I will come and just get rid of the old looking dead ones, because it just makes the garden look ugly to see old rusty brown leaves. But for the most part, whatever's on here, I hope it stays on here. Oh, it flew away. I hope it stays on here and leave my 2 good ones alone. But in this bed, as you could tell, I planted watermelon seeds, so I'm not going to walk all the way over there. I don't want to disturb them. But I planted watermelon seeds. 2 of them over there are coming up, so I hope the rest of them pop up. I threw some lettuce here, romaine lettuce, and as you can tell, it's going to seed. And I had 4 of them. Now I'm down to 2, and I'm leaving them because I want the seed. So I didn't pull them because I actually want the romaine lettuce seeds. So I will leave those there. Baby, I got the peach tree yesterday. I got her about 2 weeks ago. So I have a lemon tree. She's not supposed to get that big, but they told me the same thing with the peach tree, and she took off. So let's hope for the best. But even if she takes off, this is where she will stay at. This is also where I had my compost bin at the beginning, and that compost bin was here for maybe a year, if maybe a year and 2 months, definitely a year. So when I moved it, I just figured with all that fertilizer at the bottom, all that good rich soil, why not plant my fruit tree here? So that's what I did. I planted it there, and I didn't have to, well, I didn't fertilize because I figured it has enough fertilizer. And I forgot the name of those pretty red flowers here, but I had them in my front yard. And since I redid my front garden bed, I was not throwing these away. They are very pricey, and they look very pretty, so I am not throwing them away. So I found somewhere in the garden that can give my garden a little color, and it will, I think that's about the tallest they get, to be honest. So when the lemon tree grow up, they can trail behind it, but I mean trail up underneath it. But nope, I wasn't just gonna throw those away at all. Here's another one of my elephant ears. She didn't do good in my home, but she's doing awesome here. So I'm gonna leave her. I think it's about time for me to try to stake her, like she's trying to be staked up. But I'm gonna stake her and pull the weeds from around her. But she's doing awesome. Potato bags. So I have 2 potato bags, and then I have the raised bed of potatoes and sweet potatoes. So once these get done, I will no longer be planting them in potato bags. But this one right here is trying to flower. I'm just gonna help it out and just pinch it off. Let it spend all of its energy on giving me some potatoes. But she's also doing good. And I have her in, she's not part shade. She gets sun, but she doesn't get as much sun as my other potato bag. So over here I had lavender. I was told if you leave it, it will come back. So that's what I'm doing, but it is clearly dead. I clearly don't see that coming back, you guys. But okay, we're gonna leave it. But over here are my sunflowers. These are the small miniature sunflowers. They're not the big ones that produces the sunflower seed. They are the small miniature ones. Let me get some of these weeds out of her. Look, somebody done got one of them. But yeah, I planted these from seed, and so far they're looking okay. Cinnamon, which is my daughter's rabbit, came over here about 2 days ago and was digging, and he never digs in the garden, you guys. I let him in my garden all the time, and he never digs. And if you see where this part of my backyard is up front, closer to the front of the backyard, I don't know what he was thinking, but he clearly came over here and started digging, and I just about caught him. But yeah, he destroyed a couple of my sunflowers. I think I planted these. Make signs, y'all. It makes your life so much easier. 313. I planted these. Don't forget to put signs up. It helps a lot. So this right here is not dead. This is my lemongrass. I done had this lemongrass for 1.5 years now. And the first time it grew so crazy, I cut it back just because it just grew out of hand. And it did the same thing. It grew out of hand, and I'm like, I can't just keep cutting it and composting it. I got to do something with it. So I'm going to show y'all a picture up top right here. Check it out. How I harvest my lemongrass and preserved it. So I can make lemongrass tea with my ginger that I have growing. And I can use the stalks for stews and soups and stuff. So it was a little time consuming. It probably took me about a good 1 hour to 2 hours, but it was definitely well worth it. So I put a little bit of organic soil around her, watered her yesterday, and I'm gonna wait for her to come back. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. It only takes a moment. But we're gonna wrap it up on the side of my house. These are mums I planted last fall, and they were beautiful. It's supposed to be yellow, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red. So they were beautiful. They were great. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a bed that I am willing, you guys, to pay someone to come do for me. This is so time consuming to come up here and pull the weeds, deadhead the flowers that died back so they don't look like this. My battery's going dead. I'm sorry. I'm like, why is it showing like that? But my battery's going dead, so I'm gonna hurry up and wrap this up. But I need someone to come and pull the weeds here and clip and deadhead my mums. So far, only my yellow ones seems to come and go. They'll come and blossom up real good, then they die back, and then they blossom up real good and they die back. But these weeds is killing me. I mean, I cannot. I did not realize the weeds was going to be this bad, you guys. So I really need someone who can just, and it's like, I can't. Pulling these weeds and try not to mess up the mulch, and yeah, I can't. So I need someone to come and pull the weeds here so I can clip and deadhead my mums. All I'm doing is watering it. I'm just putting the water hose over here and watering it. That is all I'm doing with these mums. Now, this was a 3-day project for me to do from one end to my house to the other end, including digging the holes, getting the mums, and mulching. It was a 3-day project. It's gonna be a week project if I have to come out here and pull these weeds and fertilize these mums, because they have not been fertilized at all. Fertilize these mums and trim them, because they do grow and they get bushier. But if you're looking for another word for neglect, just look at my mom's wall, because I have not given this side of my garden any attention. But I promise you, I'm going to get it done. I am going to get it done. Here's my other elephant ear. I trimmed her back pretty good. She's doing good. She's already flowering again on me. She is just flowering like crazy. Oh, I try to cut the flowers back on her, but she's flowering like crazy. These are like elephant leaves. They're supposed to be real big and huge. I got them as bulbs from my local nursery. See, that's like what the foliage footage look like, and it's supposed to be like a nice bluish color. Then I have one back here, so we'll see what those do for us. And then here's my other rose bush. Now this rose bush is fairly new to the other one, and as you can tell, I haven't been deadheading or nothing, but she is putting on like crazy. She is just loving her home, should I say? Can I say she loves where she's at? This is what she is, a double knockout. And yeah, I just left her here. I planted her about a month ago, 2 months ago, it had to be 2 months. And she's been all right. So my phone is going dead, so I'm gonna wrap this up. This is the front of my house. I did a video with you guys watching me move these from the front of my house to the end of the sidewalk of my home. I planted lemon balms in front of it to give it a companion planting, and I wanted I wanted lemon balm, and I had nowhere else to put them in my garden. So I researched it and realized that lemon balms do very well as a companion plant for hibiscus. So that's where they're at. My hibiscus is shocked. She's not looking too good for me at all. I done came and trimmed her because I moved her, so I had to trim her. I trimmed her, fertilized them because I have 2 of them. And I'm just going to hope for the best. I can tell you one thing. I am not the best at moving plants. Like once I put them there, I just need to leave them there because apparently I shock them way too much, and it's taking them a long time to bounce back. And here, Central Florida, springtime, hibiscus is supposed to be blooming like crazy right now. Like her flowers should be like everywhere, and instead mine look like this. So I may not see anything till late fall with these, but I'm not going to give them up. I'm not going to pull them and throw them away. I'm going to be patient with them. So I'll catch you guys on the next video.